Alright, so I made a visual board for just wrapping everything up here in the what to plant section. Down here we have the months of the year, then we have a lifeline of the deer, planting line, and a feed line. So right now we're in winter time. That's survival mode on the lifeline. Deer are just trying to survive the winter and come through in decent condition. We want to make sure that this is a very critical time for deer because we want to make sure that the last couple of months of a fetus's life is when it does the most growing. So you want to make sure there's something to eat so that we can have 2 fawns per doe, hopefully, and nice big healthy fawns, and get them hitting the ground running, right? Then after they're born, you got milk and antlers and building up bodies for the rut and the next winter. You want to have plenty. So it's hard to even pick a time when it's not important to have good food on the range. Now, the planting line is going to be pretty soon here. It'll be March, and you'll be wanting to frost seed, overseed your clover and chicory plot with a light dusting of extra clover and chicory just to keep that going and perpetuate it. And then if you're planting the warm season cover crop, you want to do that in June, and you're going to have your corn, sorghum, peas and beans, sunflowers, whatever, in June, July, August. Then we're going to plant at the end of August, 1st of September, we're going to put in our fall mix. We can drill that right through the warm season, or we can have a separate food plot if you have room for it. And that's going to be your cereals, brassicas, annual clovers. So you got your greens in there for the winter. Right now I can look outside and see my collards and my wheat down in my yard here doing really well, even though it's late winter. And so the feed line, what are they eating? They're going to eat, right now they're on the cereal grains, then they're going to be on the clover in the spring. When that really, when you have spring green up, that's when clover is going to be the top pick. Then when your summer annuals come up, cowpeas, soybeans, summer brassicas like collards and hybrid rape, and then they're going to eat the grain heads from your wheat from last year, because your wheat's going to mature in June and July. Okay. So as one planting is kind of going out, another one's coming in, right? Clover is going to fizzle out up here in the hot summer. Yeah, you have to realize that there are 2 stress periods. One is late winter and the other one's late summer, because this is when the native forage starts to dry out and senesce, okay? And that's why it's fantastic right at that time to plant your fall mix, so that there's something fresh and green, full of nutrients coming up, nice and palatable, take you right into through the rut, and of course you want to track deer for harvesting. Notice I decided to put chicory up here by itself, because chicory is good from spring green up all the way until frost. Good plant to have around. Always have it in your mixes, and I usually put it in with my clovers. You can also plant that by itself. Alright, so this pyramid is a little small, but I decided to make this importance and efficiency pyramid. So down here at the bottom, at the base of this pyramid, is your native forage. Your food plots are only a supplement and a backup to your native range, okay? deer never had a farm for a million years, and they got along just fine without them. So we don't need any of this if your native forage is in great shape. But it's not, is it? I've never seen it, a native range in all my years of forestry that is really top notch and can feed a lot of deer. Next is your perennial, your clover, chicory type plot, because that's something that you can plant. The efficiency goes up as we go down to the base of the pyramid. That's pretty efficient because you can plant it. It's easy to plant and easy to maintain, but you have to do it. You have to maintain it. It only takes a couple weekends every year to maintain a perennial clover plot. Next is the cool season annuals. If you're going to do nothing else, do cool season annuals. Then if you have the space and the time and the money, you can do warm season annuals as well. Then up in here you can have the luxury items, which is going to be your corn and soybeans. If you have space for it, there's just nothing better than corn and soybeans, because there's nothing a deer would rather eat than a soybean plant. And then in the wintertime, there's nothing they'd rather eat than corn. So if you can have those two plants and you have the space to get enough that it makes a difference and they're not wiping it out in 2 weeks, then that's a luxury item. Then brassicas, I always have them in every mix, but I don't plant brassicas by themselves because it's a very inefficient use of space, in my opinion. Anyway, I won't say any more about brassicas. Alright, so that wraps up the planting section, and yeah, remember, every one of these seasons deer need something palatable to eat. Okay? And then the other takeaway is that everything we do here is just a backup to our native range.